Oh my God, I got out of the Marine Corps in, I guess, 1992. So I finished my degree and I've been an accountant ever since. And so I share an office over here that I do a lot of tax accounting work. I do mostly corporations, but I do a lot of personal taxes this time of the year. So I came into town. I actually live in Florida, in Panama City Beach. So I met Joy February 2nd of this year. She came into my office and she said, I heard you trade. That was her pickup line. I said, I'm married. No, I'm joking. So I said, yeah, I do. I trade, but I mostly trade options. So I don't trade stocks. I don't trade futures. I mostly just trade options. So if anybody knows what options trading is, it's like you're betting for a stock to go up or down. Very similar to what we do in DSJ. So what happened is when she talked to me, she said, what do you know about copy trading? I said, I don't know a lot about it, but I've actually studied it before. And she said, what do you know about AI trading? I said, I know I cannot beat a robot. I cannot beat an algo. I'm not that good. So I still trade, but this is something that's better for me, easier for me, and allows me to actually focus on my time. I actually have an alarm set on my phone, so when it goes off, I know it's time to trade. So if you guys do that, most of you guys should have that. If you don't, do it, because what happened when she got me involved is I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So she said, okay, do you have any crypto? Well, I've been in crypto since 2017. I bought Bitcoin at $4,000 when everybody said it was a fraud. And the reason I knew it wasn't a fraud is because I remember being a kid and going to the bank and depositing cash, and the lady said, you know, you can use the ATM outside. Well, what's an ATM? An automatic teller machine. Guys, those didn't come out until I think most of us in here, 1980s. 1980, Harry, right? That's when they came out. So those came out, so you had to go from there. So I knew at that point, we were no longer going to be paying bills with checks anymore. And in graduate school, I wrote a program on paying your bills online. But Elon Musk beat me to it. He created PayPal. Me and Elon going to have words. No, I'm joking. But I more or less turned around and I just started focusing on, I knew you were going to pay your bills online. So at that point, when crypto came around, a friend of mine mentioned it to me about a year before I bought it. I didn't really listen to him. I think it was somewhere in the $2,000 range. I ignored him, and then in the summer of 2017, I met the guy up again in Panama City. He sells big yachts for a living. And I said, so how are you making your money? You don't sell that many yachts. He said, well, I can still make a good living, but mostly what I do is I buy Bitcoin. So I said, well, I heard about it. So he got me involved with Coinbase. So everybody knows Coinbase, right? Yeah. So I opened my first Coinbase account in 2017. I started buying crypto. At that time, I bought it, and it was like $4,000 a coin. I bought like 4 coins because I didn't know where it was going to go. My wife said I was a moron, but she went ahead and bought a coin as well. So I said, okay, so we're gonna buy crypto. In December of that year, if you guys can remember, it jumped up to about almost $20,000, like 19 something. I remember sitting in the restaurant, and I told the lady, I said, hey, Bitcoin just hit $19,000. What would you do? She said, I'd sell it. So I sold one. Then I waited till it hit like 40-something thousand, and I sold another. Then it kept fluctuating around, so I bought a little bit more, and then I sold another one at 62,000. Then I let it come down a little bit, and I started buying some more. And this year I told people, watch between 50 to 60,000 and start buying crypto again. And they're like, this is how actual trading works. You're looking for support, you're looking for resistance. So I already knew these things. So when she talked to me about it, I said, okay, I'm interested. So I said, okay, so what are we going to do here? So she said, well, you have to transfer crypto to another exchange. I'm going to tell you, I was the first person who was very skeptic because I had gotten ripped off in 2021, $11,000. Because I listened to a girl who said, if you give me the crypto, you'll be able to get money. So I said, oh, I'm in. I gave her $11,000. I saw the thing go up to $110,000 on the account that she showed me. Here's what I realized. I did not have what is very important, which is the wallet. You guys understand what the wallets are?
Yes.
So the wallet is how you store your money. I have cold wallets. I have hot wallets. Hot wallets, what's on your phone. A cold wallet is like, I have those little treasure, those little USB cards. I have another one that's I tap. It's like, it looks like a credit card now. You tap it in your phone, and it takes your crypto and puts it on your phone. So from that point, I said, okay, well, I'm in. So I took USDP, which I had like $624, which is why people ask me, why $624? Honestly, that's what I had in my account. So I had Bitcoin and XRP and Solano, but I wasn't going to sell any of those, but I was going to go ahead and get rid of, I'll take care of the USDT. So I bought $624. Today I sit with a little over 2,500. So after this morning's trade, I was at like 25.44. Another trade's happening. I'm doing about $30 a day. So people say, well, that's not a lot of money. I said, well, that's because you don't do math. Because if you do math, 30 times 30 is $900. So I'm doing $900, and I also get, I'm at a level 2, so I make $150 there. My wife is at a level 1, so she makes another $100 there. She's right about $30 a day. So we're averaging a little over $2,000 a month. That's not what we're doing, so we're looking for something more. But my job here, now that you know who I am, is I got in here so that I can teach you guys about taxes. Since I've been in crypto for a long time, I started realizing what they were doing. So think of crypto as a house. What happens when you sell your house? What tax is involved?
Capital gains?
Capital gains tax. That is what crypto is. Crypto is capital gains tax, okay? If you buy crypto and you sell it, that is capital gains. If I give you crypto, so I wanted to do it before, I wanted to use that as a payroll software because, you know, those dispensaries around here couldn't get a bank to hold their money.
Right.
So that was going to be my idea, was I was going to create a way for them to pay their employees with crypto.
Right.
So in essence, if I give you crypto, that's ordinary income. Everybody knows what ordinary income, W-2 income, any kind of money like that, that's ordinary income. But this is capital gains. So go ahead and click to the next screen. So when I got started, I realized one thing. You gotta be patient because compounding is not easy, it's not overnight, it's a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I looked at that and I said, okay, so when I started recruiting people, I required two things, patience and discipline. I have some who are patient, some who are not. I had a guy call me the other day and said, man, I got another $1,000 and I just want to throw it in my account. And you know what I told him? What do you think I said? Don't do it. You know why I said that? Because I told him, start building your team. Take the other $1,000 and help 2 more people get involved because you'll benefit. Why? Because they're going to give you $25 for each person he signed up. That's $50. Follow my logic. It's $50. Then he's going to get an additional 6 trades, right? For each one. So that's 12 trades, averaging $3 a trade. So let's just keep it simple. $3 a trade. 3 times 12 is $36. So he's got almost $100, almost a 10% return on his investment, just by doing it that way instead of putting it in there. So he goes, oh, that's a good point. I'm a percentage guy, I'm not a numbers guy. I like return on investment. I don't look at the 1.3, I look at the 60% average that we make on every trade that we do. That's what I like. Okay, let's go to the next one. Discipline, because if you don't make the trade, you don't get paid. Okay, crypto taxes, here we go. This is a whole bunch of garbage that you might want to read or not read. Okay, so it just says the IRS began treating cryptocurrencies as property rather than currency for U.S. federal tax purposes. This is where I get the statute that says it's going to have capital gains tax.
And we can't see your screen because she has a background up. She has to take down the background so we can see it.
Oh, it's the
We
fan.
can see you.
The background.
Oh.
Alright, how do you do
The 60% is daily or
Per trade.
per trade?
You're averaging about 60% per trade.
that? Really? Okay, picture.
And if you take it to the end of the month, is that still 60% or no?
So every trade is 60%, right?
Okay.
So if I'm making 60%, I'm going to show you guys a cool spreadsheet that I created. Because why? Because I'm an accountant and I'm a numbers guy. So I created a spreadsheet because I wanted to track every single trade. I trade options, guys. I track every trade. A couple of cool things that they do here that people don't really understand is, and I'm sorry I'm digressing for a second, is they only trade 1% of your account.
Yeah.
Whether it's $500 or it's $1 million. Why? Anybody know why?
They don't want you to risk all your capital.
Thank you. You don't want to blow up your account, right? You don't want to risk all your capital. As a trader, I live by that philosophy, but I trade 2%. but I will still have a stop loss at a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning I'm looking for a 2-point win or a 1-point loss, 20% kind of mentality. So let's go to the next screen. So everybody understands it is crypto, it is actually a property. Yes, sir.
So you mentioned about stop loss. So can you set that up in DSJ exchange?
So no, and I'm going to explain to you guys why in a bit, because I don't know 100% if what I'm saying is correct. But when they make a trade, it's 100 or 0, baby. So which is kind of cool. At first you get fearful. I've had 2 that went to 0 when I first got started. And people panic, oh my God, I go to 0. Well, that 5-step plan, I'm pretty sure she shows you, your next trade is 3%. We've won on both of those. You know what most of my people say? Can we have more losses? Yeah, because that next trade is at 3%, we'll make more money, right? Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about different types of, when it comes to trading, different types of things that you want to look at. The first one is called a wash sale. Just so you know what a wash sale is, I'm going to use Apple. Do you everybody know who Apple stock is?
Yes.
Okay. So if I buy Apple for $100 today, and tomorrow I sell it for $95 because I lost money. That's a $5 loss that I want to claim on my trading, right? Now, 2 weeks later, it hasn't been 30 days, 2 weeks later, I buy it for $95 again, but this time I sell it for $120. That $5 loss, sorry, you can't claim it. It's called a wash sale loss. You did it within a 30-day period, okay? Now, this is kind of cool. This is good for us. This is called a TTS. Now, I haven't verified it 100%, but I can qualify as what they call TTS, which is it's more or less a day trader status, meaning I trade more than the required amount of trades every year to claim a day trader status. Why is that beneficial? Because then I can start having expenses, I can have losses. The requirements are very simple. You have to do over a certain amount of trades, and I think it's like 300 and some trades a year, and you have to be profitable. Well, guess what? In BG, I am profitable, and I'm doing well over 300 trades, right? Because we're doing it 7 days a week, twice a day. So I think if we can qualify it here, now they talk about they're not sure if it's qualified or not, so I say, okay, I'll listen. But there's still some benefits in crypto that we can get, okay? So there are still some things that we can do, like expenses. Do we have expenses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you some expenses that I have, because I got really relatively new, and when I went to Panama, I didn't know have anybody down there. Now I have 40 people. So the way I got them was I had to go out and do what she did. She bought business cards, all these materials up here, shirts, t-shirts. You're gonna spend marketing material. If you start growing, you're gonna start spending money because you want to grow your team. It's like a business, guys. No different. I've been doing this for owning a corporation since 2003. So I've been self-employed for 23 years. So I can tell you, I spend a lot of money on business, okay?
So you need to keep receipts, correct?
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a filing cabinet, just put receipts in there, and forget it. Here, I'm going to tell you something about the IRS that a lot of people don't realize. As a person, individuals, you, me, Taki, guys in the back, ladies over here, gentlemen over here, we don't get anything. IRS doesn't give us any benefit, really. They can give us a benefit of no tips on tax, no tax on tips, sorry, no tax on overtime. And that's not really true. What it is the overtime rate. So if it's $5 of overtime rate, you're not taxed. The $10 that you make per hour, that's taxed. So a lot of people don't know that. But the other thing is that they give everything to companies. Do you guys remember when Trump was running for president against, what's the woman's name?
Kamala.
The murdering woman?
Oh, we don't want to mention her name.
Okay. Something Clinton. What did you say?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were sitting there talking. One of the things that she said was, he's a billionaire, he doesn't even pay taxes. He says, and neither do your donors. He didn't deny it. And I don't deny it that I don't want to pay taxes. What? I don't write the law, but I'm going to abide by the law, right? Tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is your God-given right. Use it. Take advantage of it, okay? So, when you get into stuff like this is where businesses benefit. You have a car, and you're using it to come back and forth here.
Yeah.
You're putting fuel in it. You got to get new tires. You got to put maintenance. You got to repair it. You got to pay insurance. those all become business-related expenses. Not 100%, but portions. You go out to eat, you're talking to somebody about BG Well, you're trying to convince them to join, boom, you paid for dinner, hey, 50% of that just got written off, right? You travel somewhere, like you come to see me in Florida, and you're gonna give a show, or you're gonna talk for me, because I'm gonna be hoarse. Then that point right there, you're gonna write off that business trip. Now you take your wife and your kids and they're not part of it, you can't claim them, but you can sure claim your ticket. You can claim the hotel that everybody stays in because you're all in the same room, right? Start thinking like a business person. Your cell phone that you're holding next to your ear, cell phone she's holding up, that becomes a business expense. If you're talking to people about BG on your phone, start thinking about how I can write that off, how I can benefit from it. You can't write off 100%, but things that you're using it for, you can write off, okay?
And at this point, we're talking about individuals.
Yes, so,
We're talking about individuals.
yeah, so you have different types of business structure, right?
Yeah.
If the quickest one is easy, is run downtown here in Clark County and you can pay $40 or $20 or whatever it is, and you can set up a DBA.
It's now 200.
For a DBA? I hope that doesn't hurt, but welcome to Vegas. Okay. So Vegas used to have no state business license, now it's like $650. So they've been increasing the prices here to make a couple more bucks. So, but in essence, it's very inexpensive. If you start a corporation, I like corporations better because you can separate yourself from the business, okay? So, and it also, I think, I don't know for sure, I don't work at the IRS, but I'm pretty sure they're allocated separately. And I'll give you an example. What's been going up recently?
Everything.
Everything, okay? Give me a really good one that you go outside, get your car. Gasoline, right? So if you work in IRS and you got somebody over here just keying in your what they call Schedule C, okay? That's like a sole proprietor, a DBA. Schedule C, they're keying it in. That's probably somebody who just is a number keyer. That, or they just hit it in there, and that little 6-digit code that every corporation has, every company has, that is synced to every other person that uses that code. So that's how they determine who's getting audited and who doesn't, based on a percentage. Now, I also think that you have LLC, S Corp, C Corp, PLC, you got all these different ones. Those other corporations kind of probably have a little bit different person in there. So if it's an S Corp, a C Corp, you might have somebody who's a little bit more familiar with that department. So guess what they're thinking when you come in and your gas price is higher than what it was 2 years ago. They're sitting there going, well, gas price did go up. But the person over here who's just keying in the Schedule C, DBA stuff, that person doesn't have a clue and they just said, oh, look at the gas price went up, boop, audit flag. You don't want that. Even though all they had to do was look outside and go get gas in their car. Right.
Excuse me.
If I talk too fast, I apologize. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so if I have already, I have a DBA,
Yeah.
so as a sole proprietorship.
Yes.
Okay. But it's for like real estate. Can I use the same DBA for this?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can. Now, I will tell you later in life when you get bigger. So I have one corporation. It's called Stone and Associates Inc. All right. You can check it out. Been incorporated here since 2010. That corporation has brought on more corporations. I used to own a company called Borgo, Back Office Remedies, and what I did was I would put them under Stone and Associates first. But in my head, I always had an exit strategy for those. What do I mean by exit strategy? Tax-wise, or let's call it risk-wise, it doesn't make sense to keep all of my assets in one location. Why? Because if I get into an accident and hit him, then my other corporations or my other divisions could be affected by that. But if I separate it, so I start separating it, not yet, but have a dollar figure, 100,000, 500,000, a million, whatever you want to put. Separate the corporation, separate your DBA, separate the things that don't risk you. If you own a house, you own a car, you have assets, start thinking risk off. You want the risk off of you. Over here, do you know why you have an EIN number? Anybody know?
Employer identification number.
Sure. Do you know why you have it? How many digits are in an EIN?
It's like a
Oh.
social security number for the business.
There you go. It's 9, the same as a social security number. The same as a tax identification number. Those numbers are your credit. You can start building credit through your business. I have a truck, Chevy 1500. It's called a Black Widow. You guys know what that is? Like some kind of, I don't know. They just charge me a lot more for it, for putting the word Black Widow on it. Okay. That one I have under my company name, 100% financed through my company. I am not a personal guarantor. Cool, right? I've actually leased 2 Chrysler 300s and 2 Power Wagons, 100% out of my corporation. Not related to this, sorry, but just showing you how businesses can help you eliminate some of your risk. Take it off. You know, my philosophy has always been to control everything but own nothing. Okay.
So a business can purchase the house as well.
Yes, a business can purchase a house, they can purchase a car, they can do.
So
They
when
can
I
own stock.
yeah. So when I transfer my crypto from DSJ, deposit it in the business account, and I can purchase a house from that account,
Sure. So
right?
yeah, we're going to talk about how you can save on tax wise in that in a second. But okay, just FYI, the more that's the trader, the more I call it the DTS, day trader status. That right there helps you to eliminate and mitigate a lot of your expenses. Okay. Okay. In 2025, brokers must now file a 1099-DA. So, what does that mean? That means Coinbase, Uphold, Crypto.com, MetaMask, whoever you're using, according to the IRS in the US, they are required, if you make over $600 in income, then they have to turn around and tell you, here's a 1099-DA. Which is now, how is that treated, Jeff? Is it ordinary income or is it capital gains? Well, that's the question. Did I give you the crypto? Or did you buy the crypto? If I bought the crypto, it's like buying a house. Now it's capital gains. If I turn around and I gave you crypto, that's ordinary income. That's gonna suck. But I will teach you how to move that and play a little game with the IRS that benefits you. Okay? All right,
So it's interesting. So you'll go over the 1099-DA more in detail?
So this came out in 2025. So if you did over $600 in profit, then Coinbase, Robinhood, any one of them where you're holding crypto that you sold and made over $600, they were required to give you a 1099-DA so that you can report it to the government. Have you did your taxes and on the taxes it says, do you own any crypto? You know,
Yes.
they ask you that now, right? And you're going, no. Okay, you can't say no anymore because Coinbase is registered with the SEC. Coinbase is on the New York Stock Exchange. When they went on the New York Stock Exchange, I was the first person to be angry. Do you know why? Because I wanted it separate. I wanted that anonymity to say that that's mine, what you guys do is yours. So when Coinbase went on the New York Stock Exchange, I was like, you just gave in to the people who's been taking my money. You know? But that's just the way it is. Now we're just waiting for regulation, which is why crypto goes like this. So we're going to talk about that in a second as well.
Question.
Yes.
So up to $600 is non-taxable.
Yes, anything under $600, they won't send you a 1099. They shouldn't. I mean, they're
So,
not legally
so it's like
obligated.
MetaMask has not sent me a
1099.
1099-DA. That means that I'm,
Because you have
I'm going to say it as a friend, and then I'm going to say it as an accountant. Every bit of money you make
You have to
is
report.
required to be submitted to the IRS. If it's $20 that she sent me because, I don't know, she took me out to dinner and then I had to reimburse it, you know.
so does that include, like, there's no movement within the MetaMask? It's just the price fluctuation?
Only if you sell it.
Oh, only,
Yeah,
only.
if it just
So-
goes up and down, it's,
So if I hold it,
just don't go to California.
for like
No.
2 or 3 years, I don't withdraw any money, I don't have to report it, is that correct?
If you're just sitting there and you haven't sold it, done anything, transferred it, anything,
Just make it grow.
yeah, it's just growing, you don't have to move anything. So, the interesting, you should ask that question because what is the new law that California is trying to come out with? Because Biden was trying to do it when he was in office at the very end. It is called, they want to tax you on potential capital gains. Potential. So let's say, I'll give you a good example. I buy a house, I'm a basketball star. Don't I look like one? Not really. I'm too short and I can't play ball. So,
Why
in
I can
essence,
jump?
I can't jump either. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Good. Okay, all right. So if I turn around and I buy a house for $5 million because I'm a superstar, right? I make good money. And then in turn, 10 years later, my house is worth $10 million. Under this law, they would say, okay, I can tax you on that gain today. What happens when I sell that house for $3 million?
You overpaid?
I've overpaid taxes, so I'm gonna get a credit. Do you know how they handle stock credit for stock losses? Do you know how it's handled? $3,000 a year, max. So if you have stock that you own and you sold it and you lost $10,000 this year, you get $3,000. And next year we'll give you another $3,000.
But you have to carry over, right?
Yeah, they can roll it over, but oh my gosh, I need the whole $10,000 right now. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about stable coins. You guys know what a stable coin is?
One.
Your example so far is Coinbase. In my case, I have already Binance, US.
So Binance works. They're also supposed to give you a 1099 DA. So Binance is registered in the U.S. Well, let me take that back.
There are two Binance, Binance in Hong Kong and Binance in
Yeah.
US.
So the one in the U.S. is registered to have to file any 1099 DA. Okay. There are certain companies that, if they're outside of the U.S., anybody here use Gcash, SafePal, anything like that? I don't know how those work. I can only give you from my experience. I own crypto.com. I have crypto in it. I have crypto in Coinbase. I have crypto in Uphold. Matter of fact, I own all my XRP is held in Uphold. You know why? Because do you remember when Coinbase delisted them? And so did Robinhood, and so did crypto.com, and so did Webull, and everybody said, we're not selling XRP. Why would they do that? Because they want to be the ones who own it and control it. So I found Uphold, and they wouldn't let me buy it, so I started buying it. And so when it went from, I was buying it at 30, 40 cents and selling it at $3.60 2 years ago. So then they gave me a 1099 DA. How rude is okay. All right, so in essence, stable coins are just like a US dollar. So when you say USDC, United States digital currency, okay, it's a US dollar, technically, US dollar currency. It's a stable coin. It runs parallel to the dollar. They probably have one in Canada. They probably have one in Japan. They probably have one in the Philippines. They probably have one in Hong Kong. They probably have one in Korea, Turkey. I don't know. But I know that they're stable coins, so they run parallel to the dollar. Okay? So that's not the only way to get money into DSJ, though, as we all know. I've done it. I've tried Bitcoin, I've tried ETH, and both of those also work. So, all right, through Coinbase and through Robinhood.
So how do you transfer your holdings from DSJ to Binance?
So I don't know 100% how to do it, but here's what I can tell you. This is what really drove me to BG, right? I told you I got scammed, right? $11,000?
Yes.
So what scammed me was the fact that I did not have control of my wallet. Wallet is what you need. I have it in my back pocket. This is my wallet, right? Now I can have another wallet right here, right? So when you receive that money and you get ready to send it, you're sending it through this one right here, right?
Ethereum?
Ethereum, right? You're sending it through ETH, Ethereum. The funny thing is this is why I like DSJ. They thought about it before they created it. So, DSJ, when you send the money there, how are you sending it?
USDT.
USDT or Bitcoin
Or Bitcoin.
or ETH, whichever one. What's funny is people say, yeah, but why am I not going to get taxed when I transfer USDT to DSJ? Because it's USDT. It's dollars. It's a dollar. You're using U.S. currency realistically, right? I'm buying ETH. When I send that money from DSJ, I can send it one of two ways. Well, most commonly for me, these two ways, right? If I send it to my wallet, either one of these, to my wallet, I'm going to receive it how? In the same way that I send it, right? What did I say that was? My wallet. What is this one? My second wallet, my third wallet, my fourth wallet, my fifth wallet. As long as I'm transferring ETH to ETH, it is not a taxable transaction. It's like going from dollar to dollar. So you're not taxed on that. Now, if you receive that money and you say ETH to Bitcoin, that is a taxable transaction. If you go ETH to cash, that is a taxable transaction. Now people say, oh my God, I'm going to get killed in capital gains. All the taxes are going to kill me. Well, there's tricks to the trade. First and foremost is, depending on how much you make, capital gains has an exemption of 40K, like 41, 42,000. I think we're way past where I'm going to go. We're going to be able to come back to that in a second. It's about 41,000, but if you're married, it's about 85,000. So similar to when you sell a house. If I sell a house and I have $175,000 as a single man that I make in profit, how much is taxable? I mean, zero, right? 250, right? What is it if I'm married?
500.
500,000.
Same thing.
You can get exemptions here too, okay? But this is going to be based on your total income, so be careful. All right.
When you say total income, are you referring total cashing out?
No.
Or like-
What I mean when I say total income, I mean if I got a W-2, I got a K-1, I got a 1099,
All your income.
everything.
Everything combined.
Yeah. So if I'm under 40K, which there are people, hey, that's non-taxable. If you're married, 85,000, this is not too undoable. Can I have a good life with 85,000 if I'm
Yes.
single? Shoot, yes. 40,000? Yes. Because I'll just move to Thailand and the Philippines. I'll have a great life. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here. Spot cryptocurrencies is direct ownership, things like what we're talking about. Bitcoin, ETH, purchased via, the IRS. So whenever I purchase it, it is my asset, it is my home. It's like a home, it's my property. When I sell it, it's a property, it's a tax, capital gains. Okay, when are cryptos taxed? Right, what we're talking about. So I wrote this on the board for a reason. First and foremost was, if I give it to you, what type of tax is it? Ordinary income. If I give you it, it's like ordinary income. That is 100%, that's going to be your tax. If I buy it and sell it, what type of tax is it?
Capital gain.
Capital gains. You guys are great audience. I can do less work. Okay, so now, in essence, though, when is it taxable? So let's talk about that. I told you if I go from ETH to ETH, Bitcoin to Bitcoin, my wallet to my wallet, right? So DSJ made it my wallet. So I can't be punished for taking ETH to ETH. That's my wallet, right? That's the cool part. So I'm not being punished. When I get it to ETH over here, first thing people say is sell it, sell it, sell it. Taxable event. Taxable event. Capital gains taxable event. Now, how do I prevent that? How can I reduce that? Well, right now, have we watched the stock market today? Anybody watch the stock market? I played it. I played the puts. I made money. Okay. I said it's going down, baby. I'm gonna play it. And I bought OXY. And guess what OXY did? It went up. You know why? What's OXY? Oil.
But next week it may be going down.
Next week it could go down. We don't know. It depends on if Trump gives them a good tweet. Give us a good tweet, we make money. Give us a good tweet, we make money.
In the news, it was that some traders got in trouble because they got a hold that it was going to go down, and they, what's it called, they shorted.
You're shorting, okay. Very, very, very different than playing a put or a call. So let me explain to you the difference. If I'm shorting a stock, that means, let's take Apple again, because Apple's very common. If I say to her, Joy, I said, Joy, Apple's gonna go down, I'm gonna sell $100. I'm going to sell the $100 stock. I think it's going to go to 50. It drops down to $50. I made money, right? Because I'm going to buy it back at 50. When you short something, what you're doing is she has 100 shares of Apple, and I say I'm going to borrow your 100 shares of Apple because I think it's going to go down. Okay. Now, when that stock goes the other way, what happens?
Or you lose.
You lose. Well, you got to pay it back. Here's the worst part. Why you never short a stock unless you're really, really good. Why? How low can a stock go?
Very low.
Zero. How high can a stock go?
Not
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
So you're excuse my French, you're SO something or other, right? You're out of luck. Because that thing can go anywhere. So you gotta be very, very careful ever short selling. Which is why I like what BG is doing. We do two things. Put
And a call.
and a call. You guys know the difference?
Yes.
Okay. Other than Joy, somebody explain a put to me.
A put is when you're betting that, whatever currency or stock is gonna go down.
Great. How about a call? Go up, right? Okay, perfect. Now, how low can a put go?
Uh,
Zero.
how high can a call go?
Unlimited.
No.
Oh, no, zero.
Zero. Why? Because if I buy a call, and what has happened is it went this way. Ah! How high can a call go? Zero. It can go as low as 0. It can go as high as it wants. But the put's the same way. If a put goes up, I can only lose my investment. Does that make sense? If I put $10 here, $10 here, and it goes the opposite way, the max I can lose is how much? $10. If I was shorting the stock,
Then you're borrowing.
yeah, you're borrowing somebody's stock, and she goes, "Hey Jeff, now you got to buy it back for $200 here." Does anybody remember?
Enron?
That is a scandal. That's worse than that
remember
one.
that one.
So it's a better one. The meme stock. What was that one called? The one that GameStop.
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 Oh, I remember that.
Oh.
You guys remember
At
GameStop? What happened?
Oh my God.
So what happened to the short seller?
They went to
They got
jail.
killed.
They went under business. They went out of business. They lost all their money. They
Yeah.
couldn't pay
The
it.
short, oh yes.
Recently, J.P. Morgan screwed America. I'm going to explain to you how. J.P. Morgan was shorting silver at $65. Do you know what happened that day?
It went up?
It went up. How did it go up? You know how?
No.
Because one big country said, "I'm going to buy a whole bunch of silver."
China.
China. And they bought it at 72. You know what happens when you short a stock and it starts going up? You have to buy it back. When you buy it back, what do you think happens to the rest of that stock?
Boy,
You're buying.
You're
So
buying.
you're pushing the stock up. That's what's going on. So sorry, I'm digressing again from the taxes. But it's good that you understand when you're trading what's going on. You're doing a put and a call. You're trading a stock. You think it's going to go down, you think it's going to go up. If it doesn't go your way, the max you can lose is whatever you invested. $10, $20, $50, $1,000, $10,000. But that's the max. Okay? Okay, moving on. Okay. So I said right here, when is it taxed? Selling it for cash, trading it for one crypto to another, when to use purchase of goods. So that's what I wanted to get to. So here's what's really cool. I'm a firm believer of crypto. Now, not a lot of people are, but I'm at least one of those guys. Can I erase this? You guys are okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a firm believer of crypto. So what do you... Is my wife back there? Beat me up. You guys know I have ADM, right? It's a very serious disease. You guys know what ADM is? All different mamas. So, I had 3 kids. One's 30, one's 22, and the one you guys say goodnight to is 6. So,
Oh.
yeah, I started over. So, but my wife, she gave me an ultimatum: either marry me or I'm going home. Then I married her. Then she said, "Give me a kid, or I'll divorce you." So I gave her a kid. So I said, "Please, one more ultimatum, because I'm out." Okay. If she's on here, I'm joking. Okay. In essence, if you buy a stock, right? So if I told you, I'm going to transfer from DSJ ETH. I don't care which exchange you use, but for helping me, I'm going to use Coinbase, okay? You can use Robinhood, you can use MetaMask, you can use Binance, any one you want to use. What's the taxable event right here?
0.
0, right? My wallet to my wallet,
Wallet.
correct? Now, a couple things I could do, right? First is, I can let it play out. I can hold on to my ETH, right? Why? Because when regulation finally settles down, these stocks will become a little bit more not as volatile, right? So what would I do? Well,
Excuse
my
me.
son, oh, go ahead.
I just want to clarify. I thought that on DSJ, it's USDT. So I'm
Okay,
confused.
so you're buying it with USDT, right?
Buying.
But what are you buying? You're buying a crypto. You're buying ETH. You're buying ETH or Bitcoin. We trade what? What do we trade, everybody?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. We trade Bitcoin. But it doesn't matter if we're using ETH to trade Bitcoin. That's just like me saying I'm going to put $20 down on black. In my luck, it always comes out red. But, you know, the ideal is that you're only going to be trading from your wallet to your wallet. So if you're constantly trading Bitcoin, trade Bitcoin. ETH, trade ETH. USDT is the dollar. It's the current U.S. currency. So, matter of fact, that's why you see people in the Philippines, in Canada, they go, my daughter's in Japan, she says, I can't find USDT. I said, that's because it's dollars. So you use yen. So what does my daughter use? She uses a different platform, and she buys it with Bitcoin. So she got into DFJ with Bitcoin. So her boyfriend as well. All right, so if the market's going to go up and down like this, I'm gonna put that back up here. Sorry, guys. I want to show you what you can do. Will you do it? I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not taxed until I sell it, trade it, or buy it for goods. Coinbase, I don't know about Binance, but Coinbase will allow you to get a debit card. You know that, right? If you're with Coinbase, get a debit card. I have it on my Apple Wallet. So I go pay for something, I do that. Back in 2017, around Christmas time, my son told me he wanted a saxophone. I had a debit card from Coinbase. I have Bitcoin, so I linked my Bitcoin to my debit card. Or you can use ETH and link ETH. You can use XRP, link XRP. Whichever one you want to link, you link it from Coinbase with one of your cryptos. I went to Sam Ash, you know who they are?
Yeah.
My son wanted a saxophone, I went in, and I said, I'd like to buy this, and he said, okay. At that time, I didn't have Apple Pay. But I took my debit card, I smacked it down, I walked out with a saxophone. People were asking me before that in October, how can you value Bitcoin? It has no value. Okay, how much is a Lexus worth? Well, at that time, Bitcoin's around, let's just keep it at 4,000 and keep math simple, right? Well, let's say the Lexus is 40 grand. How many Bitcoin do I need to get
10.
a Lexus? 10. So it is valuable. They just didn't realize it until now they're going, you were right. I'm like, no. Really? Do you remember the ATM? Like, so, in essence, if I want, I can just hold on to I'm not taxed yet, right? And people say, yeah, but if it drops, I'm losing money. If it drops, I'm losing money. Yes, but what if it goes up? What just happened? I made more money. Now I made more money. And guess what? I went to go buy a Pepsi here. That's very expensive. Because I'm going to get taxed on that Pepsi. Over at the casino, they already charged me $4. Now I'm going to pay like $6, right? So I got to pay for that Pepsi. But if I did that, I can withhold and keep my crypto sitting there. I don't have to sell it, right? This is all in a personal preference. So, okay,
Question.
go ahead, yes.
So that's what I'm doing right now. Every time I withdraw, I leave it in Ethereum in my Coinbase,
Yeah.
and I spend crypto, right?
Yep.
So I've spent so far like maybe 300. I'm not gonna get taxed yet, right?
You won't get taxed till the end of the
I
year.
mean, not taxed, but a 1099 won't be generated.
So
But-
the 1099 will be generated for the amount that you make. So even though you got that money that you spent, that 1099 will show that, okay, she made this much, but she's already spent this much kind of thing, or you need to track it to know how much you spent. But it will show you the total profit that you made. So if I just have it sitting there, right? So good point. She brings up a good point. So I have $1,000 in ETH, right? But I only spent $300 on ETH. How much am I taxable on?
300.
Who said that? Genius. $300. That's it. You're getting taxed on $300 because you haven't sold the rest. You're still holding it, right? So until you sell it, it's still yours. Okay.
But you said it's not taxable up to 600.
Okay, so if you only spend $300, you're
For
probably
the
not
year.
going to get. You're probably not going to get it.
So
You're probably-
600 for the year.
Right. Sorry, guys. I'm older than I look. I blame my wife. So okay.
So
See
the,
that here.
the best thing is to link the DSJ or.
So DSJ is you're already in it. You either have ETH, Bitcoin, whatever. When you trade it out, when you take it out, whatever you're trading out, that is your crypto that you're transferring to your wallet and Coinbase. And when you bring it into Coinbase, into Binance, into Uphold, into MetaMask, whatever, you're telling it what crypto you're going to buy.
Yeah.
So if I was in DSJ and I said, I'm going to transfer Bitcoin to my ETH wallet, what will happen?
Taxable.
Okay, taxable, but what else will happen? If you choose the wrong wallet, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to lose it all. It's all gone. If I say, okay, I'm going to take Bitcoin and I'm going to transfer it to ETH, as long as I choose my ETH wallet to trade it to, that's where it's going to go. if I use my Bitcoin wallet, okay, what if I accidentally use my XRP? If I don't have an XRP account and I send it to a wrong wallet, that money's gone, guys. You're not gonna find it, sorry. It's history. So make sure you're very careful when you pull money out, anytime, okay?
Excuse me. Give you an example, transaction equal. Well, from your VSJ exchange, you have 1,000, right?
From VSJ,
As an example.
yeah, but that's wallet to wallet. So that's, she sent it from one wallet to another wallet, the exact same currency, ETH to ETH. So there's no punishment for ETH to ETH, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
use another example?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So let's say I have 100,000, I withdrew 100,000, cashed it because I was gonna buy a car, right? So who's gonna get taxed then? Would it be me? What if I wanna put it in a business? How does that work? Who gets taxed now?
Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys what, I don't wanna say it's 100%, but I'm pretty sure it probably work, okay? I'm gonna show you, this is a process. Remember how I said patience? This is a process, but I'm gonna teach you guys something. Do you know when people open businesses?
Yeah, to write off their expenses.
To get
And
expenses,
less
to
tax.
show less revenue, right? Ultimately, I don't want to pay as much in tax. That's ultimately my goal. So let's start here. So I have an LLC. Now I want you to know, I asked the professor, I said, hey, I have clients who want to open an LLC because Coinbase, I don't know about Binance yet, but Coinbase Robinhood will allow me to own a corporation to own crypto. Ding, 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 idea came to my head. So, this is my LLC crypto ETH. This is Jeffrey. Oh, thank you. This is Jeffrey. Wow, that's nice. Look at that. Okay. So how do we go over here? LLC ETH. Okay. So you got these right here. This LLC, now set up on Coinbase, owns ETH. They bought some ETH. Now Jeff, he decides, well, guess what? I'm going to pull my money from DSJ in ETH. I'm going to transfer it to, just for this conversation, Coinbase in ETH. Now, here's the problem. The first thing you realize is that this has an EIN number. What did I tell you? It's the same as a social, right? But the reason you create a corporation is because it separates you. That is its own invisible individual. Think of it like that. It's an invisible individual, not just somebody who owns a corporation. So, I got my ETH here in Coinbase and I go, I don't want to be taxed. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to loan ETH, my money. Now, this technically became a taxable event, right? Because I'm not the owner. That EIN, I may be the owner, but I'm not the person I'm giving the money to, so that's not my ETH account. So I'm going to transfer this money over here. Now, let's say it was 100 grand. The first thing I say to myself, oh look. Okay, I thought that was cool. Okay, so 100 grand, right? That's a lot of money. Okay. So the ETH over here, immediately, what are they going to do? They're going to give me this 1099 DA at the end of the year. And it's going to say, hey, sorry, you got 100K in income. Capital gains tax, right? Wait a minute, is it really? Because check this out.
Is that assumption 100K is your capital gain?
That's a capital gains.
But you had a invested capital more than 100K. You're assuming,
Well, if
you're assuming here
yes,
that you already made 100K.
exactly.
Okay.
If it's the other way, well, you know, I met this guy in the Philippines playing craps, and I sat there and I was shooting craps with him, and he goes, "Did you know that I became a millionaire playing craps?" I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, but I started as a billionaire." So, never a good thing. That sucks. Okay. So, how about I do this? How about I gave that money to them? So what can I do to zero this out? Anybody know?
Donate.
I think a donate, the problem you're gonna have is it on page 1 of your tax return? No.
No, it's
At the
not.
bottom.
You're right.
It's not even on the bottom, it's on the last page. Yes, ma'am.
This was expense.
Okay, I can use it as expense. I love that. What I'm gonna say is that I gave this money to them. So you know what I'm gonna do? Since I gave the money to them, I'm gonna give them a 1099 MIS, miscellaneous. Now, guess what? That 100,000 just did what on my personal taxes?
Wash.
Zeroed it out. Now you think, yeah, but now they have the money and they're gonna get taxed.
It's okay.
It's okay. Why? Because I got so many ideals that I can write off. But here's a better one. I got even a little bit more. I gave them the money as a 1099 miscellaneous, but I tell them, you gotta give that back to me. They have a loan from shareholder. Now, will this work? Okay, maybe.
That's right.
So here's the advantage. So I gave them the $100,000. This does a couple things for me. One, it zeroes that 1099 over here. So now I don't have any income for here. I don't have to claim it, right? Now the LLC has the income. Now the LLC goes, no, I got to claim the income, right? So LLC says, okay, I'm going to claim, because if I just loan them the money, that's still a taxable event on my end, right?
Correct.
Because I'm just loaning them money, but they're saying, yeah, but you took the profit. Now, if I give them the money or I expense them the money, then I have a write-off, or I have a 1099 miscellaneous. I've gotten rid of it. Now, what does the LLC have that I don't have? Well,
Expenses.
they went out and bought a car, $70,000 car. Okay, they bought a $70,000 car. Anybody know what Section 179 of the IRS code says? I can write off a certain amount or the whole amount
If it's
of a
used
vehicle
100%,
under depreciation.
it is-
You got it. So I can write this off. People say, yeah, but I bought this car in my name, not in the company name. That's not always the truth, right? What if I told you, go get a car, go on VistaPrint, and order a sign that says I sell a real estate? You're driving a Mercedes SL 580. Boy, you're rich, okay? But you turn around, you slap this sign on it, take a picture of it, take the sign off, throw it in your drawer, throw the picture in there, and say, guess what, guys?
You're going to this.
I have a sales vehicle. And guess what else I have? Oh my God, I have insurance. And I paid off the car because I got repairs and maintenance. Oh my gosh, then I had to go to dinner with somebody.
Yes.
I had a cell phone. Oh my goodness, I had fuel.
Hotel.
Oh, I went to travel. Hey, when I was traveling, I was selling them BG, okay? Depending on what your LLC is. What if my LLC is real estate? I'm promoting real estate. What if my LLC is just a consulting service? I'm selling them a consulting service. You know? Now don't get up and take your whole family, none of them will be a G but you, and say, we're going to Hawaii. Don't worry about it. You know, you can take them to Hawaii, but you're the only one writing out the plane ticket. Now the hotel, different story. Now if your spouse is in BG as well, just a business. Let's go to Tokyo.
So
Shoot,
you're
there's
saying that we should have a LLC with this, right? We should have an LLC for trading?
you want an LLC? I'm sorry?
You have to turn it in.
I'm asking, should you recommend having an LLC?
I always recommend that if you want business write-offs, you should have some kind of corporation, LLC, S Corp, C Corp. You got to look at the advantages and disadvantages and find out which one works for you.
Do you do LLC?
I do LLCs.
Perfect.
I
Send your
do
number.
S Corp. I do sets.
Is that your information?
Okay, here's my name and number. Okay, so you guys don't know that I'm actually a movie star, so it's 706-555. No, I'm joking. That's my number.
The wife's back there.
My wife's back there, right? Okay. I'm a horrible writer. I'm left-handed. That's my excuse.
No, the left-handed are smart people.
Huh?
Smart people.
What's that?
Is that an 800?
Oh, somebody tell me.
702-499-8944.
She's actually left-handed, so she's smarter than me. Yes.
My question, to understand it, maybe if it works, is why, instead of Jeff doing all that, why not go direct to the LLC?
So here's the problem. Who owns the LLC?
Jeff.
So DSJ turns around and sends it here. Who owns DSJ?
Jeff.
Jeff, but Jeff owns the LLC, but the LLC has its own EIN.
Right.
So LLC owns it.
So the LLC has that EIN, not me. It's a
Right.
totally separate individual. One's invisible and one's, well,
Right,
right here.
but my point is, why do all that transaction when you can send the money over here direct? And
Well,
then-
because if you do,
Yeah.
well, okay. I kind of think,
Like-
I know where you're going.
like
You're
the
saying,
expenses, you know.
why
like-
don't I just take
Get
it?
rid of
So,
Jeff.
here's the number one reason I'm believing so, and I may be wrong. Okay. Everybody who's been in DJ and taken money out. If you've taken money out, you have to verify your funds, right? So if I go to Alina and say, Alina, I want to pull out my money, but I'm going to send it to this LLC, she's going to say, you can't do that. Do you know why?
Because the LLC did not open the account.
Okay, that's one. But I talked to a professor and he said he's not going to do that right now. But here's the number one reason. I do not believe that DSJ wants to get into the process of doing 1099 DAs. If I turn around and send it from DSJ to the LLC, then Jeff should get a 1099 DA, right?
Yeah.
So, if I don't want and DSJ doesn't want to do it, then they're telling me, hey, let's keep it simple, send it to your Coinbase, send it somewhere that is yours, and then do with it what you want. So I'm just trying to find a loophole, a road, a path, some way that will eliminate some of our tax issues, okay? So, but I do know, everybody in here can buy a 1099 miscellaneous. It's called Office Depot. You can get them online. I'm gonna erase this, everybody okay?
One moment. Backtrack over here. So Coinbase would send 1099 DA if you pull out 100,000, right?
Yeah.
And then the 100,000 gets loaned to the LLC.
Not loan,
Given.
or expense, yeah.
Okay. Who sends the 1099 miscellaneous to LLC?
I did.
Jeff did.
Why can't, I can send out 1099.
Okay.
Anybody here own a property with another person?
Yes.
So if you ever own a house with another person and you're not married,
You're like partners.
so you have this 1098 that comes in the mail, right? Tells you how much interest you had, tells you how much you pay in real estate taxes. If there's more than one owner on it, what do you think they do? Split it, cut it in half. Half of it goes to you, because when the IRS gets it, they're just gonna take that 1098 and say, okay, it totals, taking the two. But if I turn around and I just try, if I even try to loan it money, that could be invested. But if I and I can't even use the word investment, right? Because if I invest the money, it's still taxable. If it's a loan, it's still taxable. What I'm doing is, because I own the company, I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna give you this money, and because I owed it to you, but maybe later this year, when I have more money or I need some money, I want a refund. Now I'll never do the 1099. What if I get to a point where I can use that money over here? Then I just go to my LLC and say, hey, you know that $100,000 I gave you? That's a refund. You owe me my money back. Now I'm gonna get taxed on the $100,000, but maybe at that point I don't care. What if I have $1 million in expenses? Depending on how much you have in expenses, you might say, give me the $100,000 back. I'll take it back. Make sense? Okay. What if you have no other income and this is your only income? It might be worth keeping. Why?
Low, income, if it's low, it's.
Why do I want to keep it? Why would I want to keep this income?
You get a refund. You might get a refund.
You could get a
file
refund?
Income. You can file your income tax because you have income now, and if it's below the
The threshold
the
of
the
40,000
bracket.
for individuals or
85,000.
85,000.
I might get an exempt if I'm under
If I get an
40,000
exempt.
or 85,000 in a married couple. I might say, that's my only living expense. I'll take it because I'm not going to get taxed on it anyway. Okay, make sense? Okay. The other
Yeah.
reason you might want to do it, the other reason you might want
Those
to do it.
limits, sorry Jeff, those limits that you put earlier,
Yeah.
the individual
Can you
and
go to the next page?
married, are those nationwide or per state?
No, those are, no. The IRS is federal.
Federal.
So, I don't know, well, we live in Nevada, so our state income is thank you casinos. That's our state income. That's why we keep going there and giving them money. Okay.
Just for the sake of time, Jeff, I'm going to have you finish
Yeah.
this, and then we can answer questions.
Okay.
now.
All right, so non-taxable events, buying crypto with fiat, you know, like I said, when you get USDT, when you buy Bitcoin, when you buy it, that's a non-taxable event. The tax forms you're gonna report on is a Schedule D, same thing if you sold a house. Schedule D, because that is where capital gains are reported. The exchanges now have to report you through a 1099 DA. Most of the time, they won't give you one unless you go over $600. That doesn't mean, I'm gonna say this for camera purposes. That doesn't mean you don't report it. Okay. Then it says right here, losses, capital losses can be used to offset capital gains. Anybody been to a casino? Anybody won at a slot machine?
Yes.
Nobody in here won?
No?
Me.
I have never won at a slot machine. You won at something? You got a W2G?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So when you're doing your taxes, it says, oh, I got money in W2G. What's it say at the end of when you're doing your taxes at the end? Did you have any losses? Most of the time, you can only write off the amount that you won, right? It's no different. So you only amount to write off that. Okay, capital gains exemption rates, 0, 15, 20. This is mostly, just so you know, long term, 1 year or more. If I just start taking money now, that's short term capital gains. These exemptions don't apply. There's your dollars. 44,000, 89,000. If you don't have it, take a picture of it. Okay. Head of household flyers, a head of household flyers. Head of household filers. Thank you. That person right there is up to 59. What's the head of household? You might know. Anybody a single parent? Single parent, or you have your mom, your dad, somebody lives with you that you claim them on your return. That's the head of household. Okay. Above these incomes, 15 to 20%, depending on the total taxable income. What I mean by 15 to 20 is it means it's scalable. So your income is scalable. So they're not going to hit you automatically with 20%. It's scalable depending on how much you make. Let's go to the next one. Are they still listening? They stopped listening? They hung up on me? You're not the only one who ever did that. My wife doesn't. Oh, thank goodness somebody loves me.
We can't see you anymore. You're on.
Because she did something to the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. He's driving and I'm standing. Okay. All right. So
I can't see Jeff anymore.
Okay, we'll fix it.
he's not that good looking. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Okay. I want to go to the next page.
Jeff, he's got a question over here.
I have a question.
Did I go to the next page? I did. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How can they tell if it's long-term capital gain? Like for example, like,
So the way that let's use TOS or Thinkorswim or Charles Schwab
Okay,
or
yeah,
Robinhood.
yeah.
The way that they know is because they can tell when you bought it, right? When did I transfer the money? Now they might come back to you when that money is arrived into here. So that you brought a good point. A lot of people don't think about that. Great question. So he asked, how do they know if it's long term or short term by the time they got it? So if I've had that money in my DSJ for a year, right? Then I move it to Coinbase. If I sell it before a year, I'm probably going to get hit with short term. Because they don't know that they know I brought it from another wallet, but they don't necessarily know what wallet.
Yeah.
So my guess is, and I'll look into that because I think I'm right. I think they're going to say it's from the time they got it.
They got it, yeah.
So from when you sell it, from when they got it. Now, even though you say
They meaning
they mean the
DSJ.
they mean the exchange. So whether you're getting the cash out of it.
So as long as it's in DSJ, so far it's not
As long as
non-taxable
even if you put it
income.
in Coinbase, it's not taxable
until you sell it.
until you sell it or transfer it or
I
buy it.
understand as far as until you sell it.
Yeah,
My
What-
question is on the DSJ. So you can keep it there
yeah,
for 2 years, 3 years. So far, that's no taxable transaction
that's correct.
until you make a transfer. Now, once you make a transfer,
It's not taxable yet.
it's not yet taxable. The capital gain starts when it's in the
No, when it's sold. Yeah, well, the
the
time.
time.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
starts from when it hits.
Right.
I believe that's the correct thing. I will look into that and let you guys know. I'll tell
Okay.
Joy and she'll pass it on. Okay.
Hold your questions, guys.
Okay.
All right, okay.
All right. Sorry. Water. Okay. Sorry, I'm erasing. If you guys need this again, I can't remember what I did. Okay. I remember what I said.
Can we get a copy of your slides?
Yeah, I don't mind. I think Joy has it. She can email it to everybody.
$5.
Wow, we're splitting it 250, 250. $20 is $20. Okay,
Lunch money.
lunch money. You know, today I took a trade and it went the opposite way, but I got out and I made $10 and I said, ooh, burrito. Okay, that's what I call a burrito. I mean, a burrito. Okay, so guys, we talked about capital gains, exemption rates, 10 to 37%, depending on your taxable income and your filing status, right? Short term, there's no capital gain. There's capital gains. You're not going to get the exemptions, okay? You sell something, and 99% of people probably fall into this category. There's not too many crazy people out there like me who say, I'm going to hold on to it because I believe ETH is going to go up. I believe ETH is going to keep climbing, so I'm going to hold it. Now, that might be my opinion, and ETH might fall to zero, and then I lose everything. Then my wife will kill me. Come to my funeral, bring flowers. Okay. So, net investment, so this is just giving you an idea. AIG over 200K for singles or over 250K for maintaining the filing status jointly could be hit with a 3.8% tax. If I'm a rich guy, what they're saying is, if I make too much money, they're going to punish me even more. They're going to say, not only are we going to give you capital gains, but we're going to hit you with another 3.8%. And then the first thing I say is, are you a friend of Hillary? So, no, I'm joking. Okay, don't forget the standard deductions. So, like, the standard deductions are huge. People forget about that. You know, people ask me all the time, they come to me and get their taxes, they bring their 1098, and their 1098 is like 5,000, 8,000. They go, how come I'm not getting the write-off? Because they increase the standard deduction so high that it's hard to get there. If you're not paying at least $36,000 a year or $26,000 a year as a married couple and interest expense on a 1098, you're probably not going to benefit. Unless you got a whole bunch of contributions, you got a lot of medical expenses. Okay. Yes.
Can you please tell the viewers we can't hear anything? There's a lot of background.
I don't, okay, you know how to mute people?
No.
They have to mute themselves.
No, I'm not the main co-host, sir. Hang on.
I don't know how
I'm
you
looking
did
for
it.
here. I'm looking for where I can mute people. Okay, it's not. I apologize. Okay, now let's get into right here. Can an LLC or corporation help me? The answer is yes. In my opinion, as an accountant who's been doing this for 23 years, yes. Because they're not going to give me any benefit as a person to get all these benefits. So the simple answer is yes. Now the question is, which one is the best corporation? S Corp, C Corp, LLC. Every law firm you go to will tell you, well, that's going to be your decision. You know why? They're licensed. Every CPA you meet, this is what they'll say. It's your license. They're worried about their license. They're not worried about you. So I'm going to tell you from my standpoint, advantages, disadvantages, right? As an LLC, you are 100% tied to your corporation. You are. Why? Because they give you a K1. An S corporation, you're 100% tied to your corporation. Why? Because they give you a K1. What that K1 does is it takes whatever profit or loss that's in the company and takes it out of the corporation. I'm one of the few people you're going to meet in this world who'll tell you, I like a C Corp. I've been a C Corp for 23 years. Why? Because I also know that if I don't have any income, then I'm not going to get taxed on it. If I got a loss, I'm not going to get taxed on it. But I can build credit for a C Corp that separates me. There's no personal guarantee on my truck. There's no personal guarantee when I go in to rent an office. I don't sign a personal guarantee. I'm sorry, you picked up and dialed the wrong number. Please hang up and call somebody else.
So is
I
that-
don't do that. Yeah.
Oh, no question.
Hang on.
No question.
So people will tell me, but that's double taxation. Sorry, guys.
You have to mute that.
You have to mute.
My ear is already.
Okay, hang on. Hang on, we're gonna try to mute people. Okay. There's a thing called double taxation.
Okay, go
So
on. Let me try.
under double taxation, what they're saying is you're gonna get taxed on your pay, whatever compensation you get. And then the corporation is gonna get taxed. What if you 1099 yourself and pay a 1040 ES every quarter, and you only pay the self-employment portion, and instead of I rent an apartment, so I work out of my apartment, Why don't I just have my corporation start paying for my apartment? Why don't I have the corporation start paying for my car, my insurance, my telephone, my internet, the things that I'm going to use for business, right? You know, they can get the mortgage. The problem with using a mortgage, which I agree with, is if I take a percentage of my home and I say it's a business expense, do you know what happens when I sell that home?
You have to pay.
You're going to have to pay. So first, you're going to get depreciation, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to take depreciation. All that gets added back. Now what else? Then you turn around and let's say you use 25%, and I made $200,000. Am I taxed on it? The answer normally would be no if you're single, or no if you're married. But because I used it for a business, 25% of it is capital gains tax. That's why I don't recommend it unless it's a rental property or an investment property that you're going to do that with. Okay? Now, again, that's my opinion. Do it whatever way you think is best. Now, under an S corp, the requirements are simple. No more than 100 shareholders. It used to be 25, then it went to 50, then it went to 75, and now it's 100. We're going to go to 150, now it went to just 240. No, I'm joking. So they're going to keep raising it up because they want more people using S corps. There is an advantage of an S corp. The biggest advantage is the fact that if I got a W-2 for $120,000 and I have a $20,000 loss on my LLC or my S corp, I can take that right against my money. And what page is important on the tax return? Only one page.
The first page.
Page 1. No other page matters because page 1 is a direct plus or minus to your tax return. That's it. People keep telling me that all the time. No, that's not true. Oh, it is true. It is true because if you have medical expense, did you know if I make $100,000, do you know what the medical exemption is? You have to be over 7.5% of my adjusted gross income. So if my 100,000, 7.5% is 7,500, I have to spend more than that to claim that to possibly beat the standard deduction. So if I spent $10,000 in medical, I get $3,500 I can add to hopefully beat the standard deduction. But if not, you're just eating it. The standard deduction is so good right now. What is it? 32,000 is married. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna tell my wife I love her more. Okay. Single, 16,000, 16,100. Okay. Now, an LLC is a limited liability corporation. That's what it means. Okay. Do you know that the IRS doesn't recognize LLCs? I can prove it. Show me one tax return that says LLC. Zero. They don't exist. You know what exists? A partnership return, a 1065. You know why? Because that's why they were created. That's why they were created. It's the states who said you can have an LLC. So a partnership. What's the disadvantage of a partnership? You might know. Let's say you two are in business together. One of you die, the partnership's dead. It's a partnership. Right? Now you can have an operating agreement that says that if this should happen, my wife has the right to buy out my shares. Just like an operating agreement, for a corporate return, like an S corp. S corps are cool because you can actually put in your medical to say, okay, I'm going to allow the company to have this much in medical expense or medical insurance. But as a self-employed person, you can pretty much get your medical expense anyway. Again, not on page 1. I don't know if it helps me. Okay. Now, the corporation. What do I like about a corporation better than anything else? Anybody know what the tax rate for a corporation is?
Oh, it's lower than for self-employed.
It's lower than self-employed, right? It's a 21% federal tax rate. Do you know what the average person's tax rate is in the U.S.?
33?
32, 33%, 26%. That means that my corporation is going to pay less tax than me. So why wouldn't I want to do that? I just run most of my expenses that are legit business expenses through my C Corp, take advantage of separating myself from my C Corp, and if I get to the end of the year and somebody says, yeah, but Jeff, what if you make $100,000? At the bottom line, take a dividend. You can get up to a $40,000 dividend tax-free. Oh, you didn't know that? No. Some things they just don't tell people. All right. The other thing is, you have the sense that, why don't you just take a bonus? Because now you're gonna be taxed at your rate anyway, right? So take it so the corporation has 0 tax. What's the advantage of having a loss on a corporation, do you know? You can roll it forward. This year, I lose money. Next year, I made a lot of money, but that loss, I get to use now. People don't think about that. I think about it. Because when you first get started in business, do you make money or lose money? Lose money. You ever heard of Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
He started a company called who?
Amazon.
What did he sell when he first started?
Books.
Now, how much did he make on every book? He
Pennies
lost
or-
$1.
Yeah.
On every book he sold, he lost $1. He created a database. That's what he created. He was smart. You ever heard of a thing called, what company is that? Sharper Image. Anybody ever heard of
Oh,
them?
yeah.
Yeah.
I read his book, man. That guy was a genius. You know what he did? He sold printers and toner. That's what he did. And then he became Sharper Image, where he just sold anybody's product. And all he created was a database. His failure, he went retail. Don't go retail. Okay, so he went retail. All right, real quick, we went through here, as corporations, okay. It may not be 100% related to BG, but businesses' losses can help reduce or cover some of your gains. So even if you have an LLC or an S Corp, here's an advantage. You make that 100,000 over here on capital gains. Just know capital gains are usually less than personal income, okay? I said usually because it depends on how much you make. So if I have an LLC, totally separate of BG. He does real estate, okay, real estate. He's got expenses, and this year, he loses 30 grand. What page does that go on your W-2?
First page.
I mean, your 1040. Yeah, thank you. Page 1. Yes, I love page 1. Okay. Page 1 is my favorite page. Okay. If it goes on page 1, I'm going to reduce that by 30 grand. Now, it's capital gains, so I'll get a tax, but my adjusted gross income will drop. And if that drops, so does my taxable liability. Correct? So you don't have to put it into an LLC. I'm just thinking that if people are looking for a way, there's always a will, there's always a way, right? So
If there's a will, there's a way.
there's a will, there's a way. I love that. Any questions so far? Okay, we'll move on real quick.
Is there a limit on the LLCs, like how much you should distribute, or could you have like multiple or chain LLCs?
So you can have as many LLCs as you want. I mean, people who own real estate, people who own real estate, I tell them each real estate should be a separate LLC. Do you know why? Because if I do one LLC and put 5 houses in it, and I have one with a pool, a kid dies in the pool, they go after all of it.
They rob you if you want.
They can take them all. Might as well separate them. This way, whatever happens here doesn't have to deal with it.
Having an S corporation?
Oh, it's up to you. You can really, here's a funny thing, guys. You can own as many corporations as you want. You want my opinion, open one. Open one and do DBAs under that corporation. Let the corporation own the DBA. Why? Because if that DBA starts to do really well, I can spin it off. This DBA now does $500,000. That's my exit strategy. Oh, $500,000. Make its own corporation. Why go and connect? How many tax returns do I have to do? I'd love to do it.
But didn't
I
you
make money.
say if one gets sued?
Only if you still have to have a logical sense, right? If I've never done anything in this business, I've never sold shoes for a living. But tomorrow I'm going to open up a corporation and sell shoes. Probably not going to be what I do. What I would do is say, okay, I'll open a DBA to sell shoes because I don't know if I'm going to be good at it. And if I lose money at it, guess what? It's right there in my corporation. If I make money at it and I start doing really well, and I jump to I'm a Nike now, spin it off. Make sense? You don't want to do everything at the same time. You do want to be careful if it's a high-risk industry. You know, I'm a window washer for the casinos, and then all of a sudden I want to throw in a whole bunch of houses. Probably not a good idea. In case I fall.
Is there a reason why you might want the one of your businesses to be LLC and the other one an S corp?
Well, that's a great question. So I've had people ask me this. I have clients who have all their property are LLCs. So we can get into more discussion on this in another topic. But do you know Wyoming? Do you know why people incorporate in Wyoming, their LLC? Because they don't disclose who the owners are, the members are. And then somebody, a buddy of mine called me today, he said, hey, I want to look at opening an LLC, can you tell me the advantages and disadvantages? The first advantage I told him was, he goes, because I know when I register as a foreign corp in California, I got to give them my name. No, you don't. You know why? Because he's not going to own it. The LLC in Wyoming is going to open up an LLC. So what you're doing is you're trying to hide your assets. Whenever you get sued, you know what the attorney does? He searches you. Is this going to be a good case for me? Do they have anything? He pulls it up. You own 5 houses. You got a Mercedes Benz. Oh, I'm going after her. He looks up at me and he goes, who the heck is Jeff Stone? He don't own nothing. No, my wife owns everything. I own nothing. But I control it all when she's not around. When she's around, she controls it. But I really do. I don't own my house. I don't. My wife owns it. If she kicks me out, I guess I'll have to go to Joy's and ask for a place to live. So far, she still loves me. All right. I had a buddy tell me that once, said, own nothing, control everything. And I thought, how stupid is that? And then I started doing it and I go, God, this is genius. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay,
Oh.
that's the end of it.
Okay, that's the end of it. So, can you put up the spreadsheet? I'm gonna show you guys one quick
No, I
thing.
go back to the next spreadsheet.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
go back the last one?
So I'm gonna tell you guys one last thing. So I'm an accountant, right? So I have sent Joy a spreadsheet. I track every trade. I do. And I can tell you my exit strategies, so you know, not really an exit strategy, is when I want to make money, right? My goal is $1,000 a day. Simple, $1,000 a day, right? My wife's goal is $1,000 a day. Then she'll change it tomorrow to $2,000 a day. But for right now, it's $1,000 a day. So how much is that a day for 2 people?
2,000.
How much is that a year? Anybody guess?
700,000.
How much?
700,000.
$700,000.
750.
From like 22%.
So, realistic is 30,000 and 60,000. 60 times 12, $720,000.
Yeah.
You got it right on top. That's it. And here's my theory. You want to understand compounding? I've told this to 1,000 people. I give it to kids as a game. My son played it. He's 23 or 22 now. So you put a penny in a jar. I've told people this one. You put a penny in a jar and you double it every day. Every day. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 10, 48, 20, 96. Keep going, right? How much is that in 30 days? 30 days.
10 million.
How much?
5 million.
Okay, 5 million is what you put in, but that's not really it. You have $10,707,000 because you never took out the pennies. You just kept building on it, right? But that last investment, that's going to kick your butt. $5 million, hang on. You guys sent bad checks? Okay, so, because that's only, that would have $5 million. Oh my gosh. The ideal compounding they've got you into is a great process, in my opinion, okay? If you do it right, I'm a very conservative guy, believe it or not, I am. Sorry, I'm a conservative guy. I don't wear, Louis Vuitton. I wear Skechers. Because you know why? Because they made them like this. Isn't that so cool? Look at that. You just step in and go. Man, for a fat guy, that's perfect. Genius. I wish I would have thought of that. Now I'm trying to make socks like that. Just socks. You can just step into your socks and you can make your shoes on that.
Maybe you can do that.
Yeah, maybe I can create
There's something like that now.
Yeah. Yeah, or even in the shoe, right? Oh yeah, the sock goes right. Yeah, that's a great idea. I just don't have to bend down. I'm gonna have to wear those girl socks. You know the girl socks? Do you have on girl socks? She has on girl socks. Yeah, are you wearing socks? They're footies, right? So I can't wear girl socks. So I gotta wear like at least some kind of sock. So I'm like yours, I like his. That's a little bit high, but I can still do that. I can't do those ones. Okay. Anyway, guys.
And the left sock.
I'm gonna send you guys.
Put on as you get older.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna give you guys. Good thing she brought this up. Okay, so common business expenses that most people have. When you own a business, you have travel. You ever go somewhere? I'm not saying go there and cheat the system. I'm saying, hey, I'm going back. I'm here. This trip here is a write-off for me. Why? Because I'm here working. I got to do taxes. I've been doing taxes all week. My goal is $10,000 I have to make every week. You know why? Because my wife don't work. Anyone woman looking for a good man? You gotta have a J-O-B. Okay. So, no, don't let my wife yell there. Okay. So realistically, travel, education. How'd you get here?
My car.
Your car, right? So you got fuel, got insurance,
So you got hit by
risk.
a Uber.
Uber, yeah, so hey, it's on there. Uber it, you gotta write that off. So, meals, anybody eat when they came here, on their way here? Anybody drive Uber? Those guys get so many write-offs, man. They can write off their food. I have a friend of mine who drives a Tesla, and because they haven't changed the IRS code, he gets to write off mileage. Whoa, 62 cents a mile for a Tesla, what a deal. I'm looking at he's sitting back here going,
Oh, he's good.
so it becomes very beneficial. Accommodations, cell phone, marketing, advertising, supplies, etc. You're
What
going to
if
have
I work from
expenses.
home?
If
I
you
can-
rent, or do you own?
Own?
I wouldn't write off my house, but you use internet at home, so you might be able to take a piece of your internet.
Power?
A little bit. I wouldn't go too far-fetched, because how much rent are you going to have? Zero. But you're going to write off electricity, utilities.
So I can't rent my, like, one of the rooms, the spaces?
Sure, and then when you
And
sell
write
it,
it
you
off.
get capital gains tax, call me and say, Jeff, I don't want to pay capital gains. I warned you. If it's your own home, I personally never recommend taking your house and using it as a business expense. Because if it's your only home and you plan on selling it in the future, you don't want to get hit with capital gains tax on that house. Remember what I said, you get an exemption. Married couple, $500,000. But if you made $100,000 and you wrote off 20% of that house, you're going to get taxed on $100,000 because that's capital gains. And most likely, if you did it, you're going to take depreciation. So now you got depreciation that's going to get written off. That depreciation for the IRS gets added back. They want their money back. Sorry.
I don't really avoid that.
Yeah, don't use your house. But if you rent an apartment, or you rent a house, or you do something else, take a piece of it off. Get a mailbox, get a P.O. box, get something that gives you.
On the travel, I have a question on the travel. If I travel next month, which I am, to Texas to get my birth certificate, apostille. And on that trip, if I tell somebody about BG,
Keep notes, man. I went there. You know, I didn't plan on it being a business trip, but it came to a business trip. You come back and tell your accountant, I did a business trip over here. He might ask you this question. What was the result? I got 2 people signed up under me. Okay. Business expense. I got nobody signed up on me, but I got 6 people interested. Okay, business expense. I never spoke to anybody, but I had a great time. Sorry, you can't write that off. Make sense?
but if I do, how would you believe me? Like, that I,
Well, you're not an honest man. I have 0 clients who come into me that aren't honest.
Don't you
Trust
guys
me.
record it somewhere on when you do the filing?
Go ahead. No, you know, anybody ever watch?
Chris Hansen speaks up on it.
I love the movie Accountant. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
The very beginning of the movie. What is Ben Affleck? What's his job?
He's Batman. Hitman, shooter.
Well, he's a hitman, 100%.
Yeah.
He's not Batman. He's an accountant. At the very beginning, he owns a tax place, right?
Yes.
There's a farmer and his wife sitting there, and they're talking about taxes. And he goes, do you own a business? Now, I disagree with one thing he did, but I agree with him with something else. So when he first looked at her, he said, do you own a business? She said, no, we don't do a business. Like that bracelet, do you make those? Oh yeah, I make these for myself. You ever sell any? Oh, just to the girls at the church? Oh, so you have a business. Am I wrong? Tax, we're gonna get into this. Tax avoidance is your right. You should think of tax avoidance in everything you do. You should. They might not like you for it, but they created the law. They want to change it, they're going to change it. But you know what? They're not going to change it. Why? Because like Trump said, too many of the other people's donors benefit from the same tax laws that we do. So they're not going to change it unless they're benefiting. Tax evasion is a crime. Don't do it. So this is what I'm saying. If you go on a trip to, where do I want to go?
Mexico.
Where?
Mexico.
Mexico. I go to Mexico and I go to Cancun. Oh, great. I went down to Cancun. I didn't go there for business. I went there to hang out, go swimming, drive those little go-karts around, get those little speedboats out on the road that are only this big. You know, those things right there, probably not you want to come back and tell your accountant, You might tell your accountant, hey, I turned around and I talked to these 6 people. If that's what you did, then that's what you did. I'm not God. I'm not going to punish you. I can't do that. All I can do is say, this is what what I would do is write down notes. Who'd you meet with? How long did you talk? Did you have dinner? How did you meet? Did you meet for coffee? Did you meet for dinner? If you met for dinner, guess what? Now I get to write off the dinner.
Now let me ask, almost the same question. Let's say I am traveling to Cancun, which I'm not, but let's say Guadalajara, Mexico City, I'm going to Mexico City, and I'm gonna go tell somebody. I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's your intentions, right? You're gonna go there and try to recruit people. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, besides that, leisure vacation,
Right.
And talking to some people, but which is almost the same, isn't it?
Well, is it or is it not? So let's think about this.
Okay.
I go to Hawaii. I like Hawaii. I graduated from HBU. I got out of the Marine Corps in Hawaii.
Okay.
So I love Hawaii.
All right.
So if I go and take my wife to Hawaii, and we go over there, and we're sitting there, and we're having a talk, and I see this couple over there, and they're struggling, and I say, guys, what if I could help you improve your life? That trip, that plane ticket, not the whole trip. I can't go eat at steak dinner every night with lobster and say that's a 100% write-off. But I can say, hey, I went there and I did a business trip, and this is what I did. I'm not lying. I met with 2 people, and guess what? They both signed up, and then I have 2 more people under me. I took them to dinner. I had Starbucks with them, whatever. Now I'm not gonna be able to write up everything. I just went to Hanama Bay. Sorry, not really a write-off to go to Hanama Bay, but everybody know Hanama Bay?
Hanama Bay, yeah.
Okay, so you know Hanama Bay. So you got Hanama Bay. It's not really gonna be a write-off.
The reef that's there.
Yeah, the reef area where everybody goes swimming. So you got to think about it logically. But if I'm there and I take an hour of my time and I break out a laptop and I start showing them everything and they sign up, that's a real business trip, right?
Okay, so what if they don't sign up? How do you prove? You get their name, their phone number? How does it work?
You seem like an honest guy. You gonna lie to me?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, are you going to ask for proof?
Well, logically, the IRS would love to have proof, right?
Yeah.
But if I come to you and call you a liar, is that insulting?
Yes.
Oh, good. But they would insult me. So if IRS comes to me and says, hey, I did your taxes, and say, where's his proof that he went there for business? Well, he met with these 2 guys over there. And what were their names? Peter and John. Peter and John. And Paul. And Paul showed him too. Peter, John, and Paul. Those 3 guys were there, and he talked to them. Did they sign up? No. Sorry. Just because you tried. So do you know the problem? You guys know the term? I'm going to digress real quick one more time. I remember this is a crime. So, tax evasion. But my uncle is a prime example of the word hobby law. You ever heard this term? A hobby law means that if you report with no income, but you take losses for 3 years in a row, the IRS comes back and says that's a hobby. Now we're going to charge you back all the money you wrote off. Okay? My uncle's a prime example. My uncle used to get those big remote control airplanes, the big ones that you take out of the field and fly. And my aunt says, how come I can't write that stuff off? So because Uncle Jerry doesn't make any money off of it. So Uncle Jerry said, well, how can I make money off it? I said, well, tear a piece of those things apart and sell them. So he did. So the next year, I started writing it off. He goes, why couldn't I do that the year before? I said, you could have. But if you would have done it 3 years in a row without making any income, that's a hobby. So you can have a legit business. And people say, I never make any money. There are companies that never make any money. They just don't. I don't know. Ford, Chevy, United Airlines, Delta. Do you think those guys really make money?
Yes. They make money.
Do you know why Warren Buffett doesn't invest in them? Anybody can tell me why Warren Buffett will never invest in airlines, but he did. He invested in United Airlines and lost money, and then got out and said, "What was I thinking?" Right during COVID,
He decided to buy the.
they not just do they write off, they take all their money, all the income they get, and they put it right back in the company. He says they're never going to grow. Why? Because you're a commodity. Do you fly United or Southwest?
Southwest.
Why?
Because it's cheap.
The answer to my question. It's a commodity. It's cheaper. When I fly, do you think I go, well, man, I better get on that Delta flight? No. Southwest is cheaper. I'm flying Southwest. Now I get to choose my seat. That's a commodity. You invest in things that bring you profit. So he buys Coca-Cola. Why? Because Coca-Cola just has so much cash. They have cash. What do you do with cash? You reinvest it. You buy another item. You buy another business.
But why, so if he doesn't invest in those airlines, how come he doesn't invest in those private jets?
In which one?
The private jets, leasing the private jets, like NetJet or
Oh, because they're probably the same way. Are you gonna, okay, who's gonna fly a private jet?
a private company.
People with money, right? Yeah. He could fly it.
Right.
What's the percentage? So you ever heard the Rolex Walmart theory?
No.
You guys know what a Rolex is?
Yes.
How much is a Rolex?
About 100,000 pounds.
Yeah, they start with between 15,000 to 300, 400,000. How much do you spend at Walmart? A couple $100. You can go in there and spend $10, $5, $20, $100,000, I guess, if you want to.
How was it yesterday, business?
Did you get a visit trip? Yeah, of course, yeah. What did you buy? No, I'm joking.
Some lights for the trailer.
Well, have you sat with traders and you're actually paying for their flights and you're actually talking about them enjoying it? Yes, you can write that out as a business expense. Yeah. Good point. Touche. Keep the receipt. You know what they do like though? If you have a receipt, you're right on the top of the receipt. I met with Becky and it was at 11:35 a.m. and we had 2 tacos and we talked about them joining BG Wealth and becoming a trader with me. That's a write-off. Okay? Doesn't matter if they joined or didn't join, it's just a write-off. Okay. Last component is I believe in the 5 P's. Prior planning prevents poor performance. You want to grow? Don't come here with the attitude thinking I'm not going to grow. Change your mindset, change your outcome. If you open a business and say, well, I'm going to tell you guys, in 2003, my first business wasn't an accounting firm. It wasn't. It was a staffing agency. You guys know what staffing agencies are?
Yeah.
I put people to work. I put 246 people a day at Ross Dress for us. The warehouse in Moreno Valley. I put 246 people there to work a day. So it's funny that when I got started though, for 3 months I didn't make any money. Because I thought I was going to be doing something different. I thought I was going to be a headhunter. And I called my company MATE, managers, accountants, and IT. But I kept getting calls saying, is this a dating site? Because it was MATE.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I thought I was going to fail. And I called my brother, who's a high school dropout, never finished 10th grade, got in so much trouble in his life, but he's never worked for anybody. He's only worked for himself. So I told him, I said, hey, Terry, you know what? I'm afraid I can fail. And he goes, okay. I said, no, I think I can fail. He goes, okay. I said, Terry, I could fail. He goes, okay, so what? You already know you can fail. Now what if you succeed? This is a guy who didn't even graduate. I got a master's degree, and I called my brother who dropped out of 10th grade telling me stuff that's gold. Right there what he said. If you come in here, you say, I want to be successful. Joy told me, when she first joined, she said, I was skeptic. I didn't do anything for a month or 2 months. 2 weeks. I didn't do anything for 2 weeks. I was skeptic. When I joined, I was skeptic. I will tell you, I still have some skepticism in me every once in a while. Because a friend will call me and say, you know, that's a scam. So I found out how to answer guys like that. And this is the best answer you can give somebody. When they tell you it's a scam, this is what I tell my people. When somebody comes to me and says, it's a scam, I said, they scammed you? Well, not me. Well, who did they scam? Well, this guy I read on the Google. I said, did they tell you I live on the moon? They look at you and go, no. I said, are you sure? Because I might have been on the moon. I mean, why are you believing something else? If you don't risk, I read something in the Philippines. A guy posted on Facebook post. And the guy says, I've been doing this for a couple of years, a year or something. And people were saying, yeah, but it's a scam. And the guy said, well, I think it was a girl, I can't remember. And they said, I would rather have tried than not have ever risked it. Right? What's the song? If I have never loved, I would never know. I'd rather get my heart broken.
You would never have loved it.
That's right. Or you never loved it, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot too. And what I tell them is like, they tell me, oh, I've been scammed. Oh, you've been scammed? And then they tell me this is a scam. Oh, this is a scam? Oh, okay, well, I put 1,300. I made over 30,000. If you can find me another scam, can you please let me know, because I want to do it.
You're like me. I tell people all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I tell people, my people who join, I have 40 people under me. I tell them this: in 60 days, not 30, not 50, not the 50 and 100. I don't care. 60 days. I want you to pull out your investment plus 20%. They say, why? Because I don't want you to come crying to me if a good thing goes away. Because a good thing doesn't last forever. Anybody like Beyond Meat? I never liked it. But somebody thought it was a good thing. It went away. So, you know who Beyond Meat is?
Yes.
Okay. It's not real meat. Okay. So I tell them, if you pull out that 20%, in 60 days, you made a 20% return on your investment. Guys, I trade every day. Every day. Every morning, I'm on the computer and I'm trading. There are some days I lose money. Some days I lose money. I might finish the year 40, 50, 60%. 20% in 60 days. You know what 20 times 6 is? 120%. I've already taken my money back, realistically, and somebody asked me, yeah, but how much money will I have in there in 60 days? $600. You start with 500 bucks. By 60 days, you should have about 1,200 bucks. I know, I did the math. Now you got 1,200 bucks. Take this, feel better about yourself. Worst case scenario. And I have people all the time say, I want to reinvest more money. That's what I'm doing. I have to show people I can take out money. How bad is it? I literally am pulling out 300 bucks on Sunday, just so I can show my team, look, well, that money, it's real.
That's
Not
right.
to mention I lost $625 at the casino last night. No, the $624 I put in here.
Just one question on that point. You pulling to prove that you pulled 300 to show your friends or your group
Yeah.
that you could actually do it. Can you turn around and put it back?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to turn around and put it back, but I got to take it all the way to Coinbase, right? I can't just take it I can't just go from, because on my account right now, I can show you guys that I can easily move money from my trade to my exchange with no penalty. And if you ever want to know if you're going to have a penalty, have you seen it, right?
You know what? If you put that back to trade, you're gonna get penalized.
Yeah, you get penalized, but if you make enough money, it won't matter. Because what I did was I moved $10 to see if it worked. No punishment. I put the $10 back. I looked at it. I'm still good. No worries about transferring. I'm going to get charged 12%. I'm going to get kicked in the legs because my friends want to see something.
Right.
Not the people I trade with, but people who want to trade with me. And my wife said, I'm not taking out crap. I don't care. I don't care. She's small and Filipino. She can say it quick. I don't care. No big deal. So realistically, just have your mindset set that I want to be successful, I'm going to do this, and do it. And somebody once told me, this was a week ago, they told me that there's not enough money in the world for everybody to be rich. I can prove you wrong right now. I'm going to prove you wrong?
Please.
I like this. This is my fantasy.
Okay.
You might know what that is?
37 trillion.
37 trillion of what?
Debt.
Debt.
Debt. We owe. I hope nobody comes knocking at our door. So, and I'm going to talk to you about those people who call it a scam and why they call it a scam. So I'm going to shut you up. You know what that is?
Interest.
It's $2.7 trillion. That is how much money is in circulation today. Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple names. Tell me if you know these guys.
Just in the U.S. or?
That's U.S. That's the total U.S. dollars in circulation right now. You go and you search it, you'll find there's only 2.7 trillion. We owe 37 trillion. We're short. I mean, some people are shorter than others. Okay, so tell me if you know these names. I'm going to help you answer this. Bill Gates, you ever heard of the guy? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's go. All right, good. Give me another one. You know what I'm looking for, right?
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison. Oh my gosh.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, we can keep going on and on. How much do you think those guys are worth? Total. Put them together. I guarantee you it's more than that. So if they all of a sudden run to the bank and say, I want my money, we're all screwed. Give me this. Anybody can be rich because it's only paper. It's not real.
But now, and I don't know if it's a good way of thinking, but let's say that they take the money in crypto.
Yes.
How can they affect the 2.7 trillion? all those guys take all their money out in crypto. How can they affect the 2.7?
So do you know what the crypto market is right now? About how much money it's worth?
No.
I think it's like $100 billion. $100 billion right now.
That's it?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. $100 billion. That's a lot of money. Do you know how many people own this much percentage of Bitcoin? What percentage of people own this much of Bitcoin? How much? I think you said it. What was it?
1%.
1%. Thank you. Somebody who knows. 1%. Do you know how much Bitcoin is today? How much?
72,000.
About 70 grand, right? Let's go 70,000.
Yeah.
So what is 0.1 of that? 7 grand. If you just own 7,000, you're in the 1% market of crypto. Amazing, right? Okay. Now let me teach you one last thing. You run into somebody and they say, I got scammed. Or I read this post. This guy got scammed. $250,000. I've heard that number. $250,000. I said, how? Because he tried to pull it out of DSJ. So I said, oh. So he tried to pull out $250,000. Okay, because he saw this on his DSJ exchange, right? You see it, you get your exchange, you can look at your wallet, you can look at the assets, and you see a lot of money in there. You go, ooh, I'm so excited. We got people in DSJ that have millions in their account, right? Millions, right? Okay. Now, 250. I'm gonna do something better. Watch this. How much is this?
50,000.
50,000. Assuming this is how much is in your bank account right now, this second. You go to the ATM, Bank of America, slide it in, it says I got $50,000 in it. I want you to go inside the bank and tell them I'd like to withdraw $50,000. What will they tell you? We don't have the money. Come back tomorrow. And you know what? For $250,000, they're going to actually come back in a week.
Aren't they going to call the IRS because it's more than 10,000?
Okay, so technically they call it when you deposit it, not when you withdraw it, right? So the irony of it is just that. You can't pull this much money out of the bank. Why do you think you can pull $250,000 out of a DSJ account? I guarantee you, if you get to a point where you got $1 million sitting in Coinbase,
right,
and you try to pull it out, man, there's a glitch on Coinbase. I don't know what's not working. Guys, realistically, money has value. You have to manage it. As an accountant, you ever work for a big company? There's one of our biggest jobs. You know what that is? Number one job of an accountant. That's my number one job for any of my clients. They gotta have cash flow. They don't have cash flow, they're going out of business, right?
Right.
So if you don't have cash flow, you're gonna kill yourself. So at the end of the year, what do big corporations do? You know what they do?
Write-offs.
Huh?
Write-offs?
Okay, they do write-offs. No, just the opposite, guys. Check this out. Here's what they do at the end of the year.
They spend, they do renovations.
No, just the opposite. They don't spend. No cash out. Why? Because they want a balance sheet and a cash flow statement that shows a very positive number, because it shows growth. Instead, what they do is you just send out checks on December 31st, or maybe 2 weeks before, or they might say, send it out on January 1, January 1st. Because it didn't hurt my balance sheet by the end of the year. Sucky as that may sound, I work for Schrader Bridgeport, I work for Belmar and Cable. If you want to look at who they are, Schrader Bridgeport makes the tire valves in your car. So I used to work there. I used to work in Tokyo as what they call Egyobucho. You know what Egyobucho is? I'm a sales manager. I'm selling remote tire pressure monitoring system. You know, the first car to have an RTPMS, you have them in your cars now, it tells you. Yeah, it's that PSI, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the first car to have one? Plymouth Prowler.
Oh, really?
The second car to have one? The Corvette. And they were idiot lights. They would just come on. You wouldn't know which tire. They would just come on. And then I sold it in 2000 on the Q45 to Nissan. And that's a long process. The Japanese go very slow.
On the corporation chart, they want to be on the positive, or you lost me over there.
Okay, they want to have a positive cash flow. At the end of the year, you always want to have a positive cash flow, so you try to hold off on paying any of your bills at the end of the year. Now, anybody who's Filipino in here,
No one. No one.
they will tell you one thing. You want to put dollar bills on your wall, on your window. You guys do that? Anybody in here do that? Coins in the corner? Do you do it? Come on, I'm not. Thank you. I didn't want to be the only guy in here with a wife who does that.
Water.
Right?
Water.
Oh, water, rice.
Rice.
Oh, with little dollars in it. My wife took $100 bills and stuck it in there, and I'm like trying to get one. No. It's like, why? It's good luck. We'll have money all year. Yeah, because I'm working. My wife don't work. But ironically, guys, I think this is I want to help you guys with taxes. So if you have any questions with taxes, corporations, anything like that, I will not tell you what corporation to open. Nobody ever would. You ever went to LegalZoom.com? You want to open a corporation? They'll tell you, hey, we'll help you open a corporation. I am probably 3 times what they would charge you. Now the difference is, I pay all the fees to the state. I also get you a corporate book, because I'm going to teach you one last thing before I go, because you got me talking already. If anybody can tell me what this is.
Umbrella.
Thank you. An umbrella. This right here is a. It's a corporation. It's an umbrella. So, do you know? Can an umbrella have a hole?
Yes.
They can. Thank you.
Maybe many holes.
Many holes, right?
You get what?
So, how do you protect it?
You
Two
take-
things.
You take.
2 things I'm going to teach you right now.
Tape.
Most important things you can have.
the rain.
Insurance.
Stay out of the rain. Number 1.
Okay.
Do not use one of those.
What's that?
Debit card. Debit card.
They always give you one, right?
Yes.
Do you know this is the number 1 way an attorney pierces a corporate bill? You know how he does it? You accidentally went to Nordstrom. You got nothing to do with Nordstrom in your business. You wash cars. Why are you at Nordstrom? They don't sell car washing stuff, or maybe they do, but it's very expensive stuff, right? But you use your debit card at Nordstrom because you bought your wife a purse, saying to yourself, I'm gonna put the money back. But you forgot. Then all of a sudden you get into a car accident and you said, honey, we're good. We're good. I got a corporation. We're protected. The attorney says, what did you buy at Nordstrom? Oh shit. Excuse my French. Oh crap. Nordstrom. He forgot he bought that purse. Now what he tells the judge is, hey, they're not a company. They commingle funds. I don't know how to spell. I'm not a speller. I'm an accountant. Okay. Commingle funds. Then he turned around and said, oh, you're not operating as a corporation. Do you know the second thing that they pierce a corporate bill? And it's so cool that I had to learn this the hard way. Actually, I was kind of lucky. So. You know what's inside of a corporate book?
The seal?
Bylaws, or if you're an LLC, an operating agreement. You know what else is in there? Shareholder certificates. What else? Okay, I'm going to say shareholder certificates.
Breakdown percentages of management.
Yeah, they mentioned who's, so within these bylaws or everything, they say who owns what. And here's another thing, very important. Minutes. I don't charge people to do a corporation, I don't. But I'll charge you whatever the state charges me and what they charge me to get the book. Where I make my money is I become your registered agent. I make $300. Most of them charge $60. You want to know the difference? I'm going to do your minutes every year. Because when you get sued, and they say, we want your corporate book, and you go, what corporate book?
I want your minutes.
And then they go, oh, you didn't read this thing called a state statute? That says you must have your minutes? What else is inside of a minutes? I want to buy a car. So now, you have to do certain other things. I'm trying to get the family. I just lost my train of thought. It's not minutes, but there's another thing. When you go to the bank, what do you need? Because you open an account.
Articles.
No, not the articles.
Incorporation.
No, there's another thing that they say. Oh, you got to have a. There's a piece of paper. Huh? Not the ledger. There's a piece of paper. Yeah, I really don't.
License you hang on your
No, you gotta show those, but there's a
For
document.
what?
For the bank, the bank says you have to, a resolution. Thank you. Who said that? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Resolution.
You're a comedian too?
Part-time. Okay, you have to have a resolution. When you open a bank account, you got a resolution. I want to buy a car, write a resolution. I want to go rent a place, get a resolution. How many people don't follow this rule? That's the ones getting sued and going, I can't win.
Like a ledger.
Okay, so a resolution is a piece of paper that says I authorize the company, I don't care if it's a single member LLC or a billion-dollar corporation, I have to have an annual meeting. Walmart has it, Apple has it, Coca-Cola has it, you see them on TV, right? They have these big meetings. Every corporation, according to state statute, has to have minutes. Everyone.
Once a year. Once a year.
Once a year. And you know what your minutes state?
They
We ain't
met?
did shit. We ain't gonna do shit. We're gonna have a good shitty day. Have a great day. But if you don't put minutes, then they can say you're not following the state statute. It's really hard. That is the two ways, and I learned this from an attorney. Because they sued me. But guess what I had? I had no debit card, and I had all my corporate books. They didn't sue me personally, they were suing my, oh, wait a minute, a C corporation. So they didn't come after me, they went after the other two people, they just got, somehow they were able to include my company. So my company got sued. So what do you think I did? I'm paying all that stuff. I paid $500,000 just to hear the words not liable. $500,000 in cash, not liable. My wife was so angry. And she said, you mean we could have filed bankruptcy with those corporations earlier? Yes, dear. I did this on those two corporations.
Okay,
You can't. Why?
you get out of the.
That's the best.
Because I did a Trump.
Yeah.
Bankruptcy, I'm out. Bankruptcy. I did bankruptcy on those two corporations because they were going after them so hard that the attorney fees were getting so high. The total lawsuit was for $990,000. I offered the guy $250,000. I'm not even the person you want, and I'm going to give you $250,000 because I'm smart enough to know that's going to cost me a lot more in attorney fees, and he refused. So you know what he got? Nothing. One of the guys that caused the lawsuit died during COVID. You know, karma's a bitch. So, and they asked me, no lie, everybody knows he's dead. I got to tell you, it's funny. They asked me at a deposition, do you know where Troy Seibel is? That's the guy's name. Now you know his name. You know what I said? I don't know, but we get a Ouija board and ask. I literally said that to a deposition. They're taking notes.
Right.
You guys know what a Ouija board is?
Yes.
It's like when I said we get a Ouija board and ask. I was stupid. Like, how am I supposed to know? Okay.
But I thought you said that in one of the corporations, you're anonymous or something? Didn't you,
So if you open in Wyoming,
Oh,
you can open up
Wyoming.
an anonymous corporation.
Yeah.
You can also do those here, but they're more expensive and it's a little bit more paperwork. But they're not called anonymous, they're called an anonymity corporation. People don't know who you are.
Right.
There's so many things that, are you still holding that iPhone? Are they still there?
Yes.
I love you guys. Okay. All right. If they have questions, I don't know if you guys want to video it, but if you did, awesome. I have 3 more people that while I was here, I was doing their taxes, and they said, "Oh, I want to join," because they say, "I trust you." I said, "Don't trust me." I say, have the mindset that you're going to make money, then you'll be happy. Okay.
So
Any
Jeff,
other questions?
one quick question.
Is that mine?
Did you sign it?
Oh, you got mine. No, this is mine, right? Okay.
One quick question, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, because we were, you know, one of the things that you covered were like earnings, right? Yearly earnings, the
Yeah.
IRS, you know,
Right.
40,000, 85,000 for married couples.
It's exempt status based on your overall adjusted gross income. So if you make $200,000, you're probably not gonna get that. You're not gonna get those exemptions at $200,000. If you make 200 grand a year, you're gonna be on that sliding scale to 15 to 20. Remember, you gotta hold it over a year. If you don't hold it over a year, there's no exemption.
Well, what if you use it as like part of your income to pay your, all your monthly expenses?
That's what I do. So the mark that I use is what I'm taxed on. It's hot here. I thought I was just losing weight. So.
It is hot, it's always hot, yeah.
But your answer is yes, because if you use it like that, you're only getting taxed on what you spent. You know what I mean? So like she was asking, if I only spent $300.
Good job.
Great job.
Yeah.
No, this is a write-off.
Just a write-off.
Picture,
guys.
guys.
Oh, where'd I go?
Picture.
I don't have a sign. Thank you.
Oh, you got one?
Oh, there's more signs.
We'll share.
It doesn't matter what family we're with.
First meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you guys got any questions,
I got your number, thank you.